Hello, everybody. It's Windy City here again. We're on our way over to the Chicago Printers Row org, their ideal org. I think Shannon is already over there, Chicago Scientology Audits. Gentleman on a unicycle coming down the street. I'm intrigued. It looks like he has a handlebar, which is very atypical of unicycles. Good morning, Pink. And have you fallen prey to me where you just always default to good morning, or is it actually morning by you? Hey, Ellie. Let me try that again with a stronger voice. Hi, Ellie. How you doing? I think I saw before I left that Shannon was already over there and you were over in her channel, or you're probably in, hopefully you're in both of our channels. I'm sure it's morning somewhere. She stole my blinds. Drat her. Yes, you are, Ellie. Your name I see a lot. Rachel, Lorraine. Got a helicopter overhead, but it looked like the Eisenhower Expressway heading out of town was getting backed up pretty quickly. As I mentioned in a previous live, that helicopters here are typically traffic problems. Please do as Ellie says. She's much smarter than us. Well, at least me. It's another warm day in Chicago. It's overcast. So this morning it was or this afternoon it was sunny. Now it's kind of overcast. I have a feeling we might get some drop in temperature and potential rain, but turns out most humans are waterproof. Welcome in, everybody. We're coming in up on the alley. Those hazard lights are basically the org. I'll say it's worth a stroll. Hello, Carrie. sorry, I'm in the middle of exhaust fan, so I'm not sure you'll hear me at all. I think this is the drone guy from last night. So they should run and scuttle back in. Yep, bringing all the stuff inside to hide. Interesting, Louisiana commercial plate. He's just going slow to navigate between the wall on the one side and the garbage can on this side. Remind me not to reach my hand over the back of the phone. Ellen let me know that Shannon got the blind tech engage. So I don't know what fun I'm going to have. Hopefully I'll be able to follow some routers. It'll be nice if Shannon's here, I can see if she can station out in front in case I have to run to the back. That way we still have both doors covered. Ha. Louisiana did a U-turn. No, Illinois comes back. Couldn't tell. That person had their hair high and tight, so maybe staff, maybe not. No, they're stopping at the building south of. I'm going to see if I can, during the live, I'm going to see if I can change my camera. Hold, please. Hopefully I don't do anything bad. So I've got the telephoto on now. That usually lets me draw in the field of view a little bit closer, but I think I get a little bit shaky when I'm close up on people because you know the focus is out there so much. Hello, Lorraine. Yes, yes. Some patrons enjoying the Chicago early summer, which we probably only have 2 winters left this season. Ellie, I tried to elevate Lorraine earlier, and Lorraine, if you're interested in being a mod, I have 0 issue with that, and be more than happy to have you in there. And if so, Ellie, if you could help with that, I'd appreciate it. Looks like Shannon's having a conversation. How you doing?
I'm Shannon, by the way. Nice. What's your name?
AK. AK? Wendy.
How old is it?
Wendy.
Wendy, how are you?
Very, very well.
So you guys work together much together?
No.
We just work. We have the same. We have the same objectives.
The objective of
We live in the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We're not thrilled with our new neighbors. Are you neighborhood?
I live in Los
Okay.
Angeles.
Nice.
I asked him if he saw any coverage in LA. He hasn't seen it yet. How long have you been here in Chicago?
2 days.
Oh, wow.
Got it.
So we've been here before, right?
Yeah, not this area. Yeah, I've been here like 4 times.
Nice. You got us nice. You got some nice weather.
Into the executive program? That's why you're
Just walking around. So I think like my goal is always to keep an open mind, critical thinking.
good. Keep
Yep.
that up. You'll be fine. I'm serious.
I agree.
Keep doing that. Look at both sides. Make up your own mind.
You're not let you in?
No.
I'm not sure, but they were at Lakeview until a week ago. Yeah, almost exactly a week ago. And they just moved into this building. And in the Lakeview one, I did walk in because the sign says everyone welcome. And yet, did you see what they did when I came? They closed all the closed the doors. Why so many secrets? So
It's not when you go in, it's not that. I thought
Right.
it was going to be something.
No.
It's business. It's business.
Yeah.
And then when I went into the one in Lakeview, they said you can't be in here, you have to get out. So clearly all are not though.
I mean, it was basically just like,
They
Like I
call
said,
us criminals.
they talk about like a lot about performance.
Right.
Um,
And the early parts, the introductory levels, it really is. It's common sense self-improvement elements, right? And again, people always say, well, how do people get sucked into something like that? It's very engaging at the introductory levels. And then all of a sudden, now give me some money, and now tell me all your bad secrets, and it gets pretty ugly. I don't know. So if you ever get a chance to, there's some of the ex-Scientologists telling some of their stories. It's incredible. Oh, this is your ride? All right. Enjoy. Take care. I went to the wider lens again. Hello, Ufa. Let's see if we can see through the cracks. They have leaks in their blind tech. So I think that's LRH and his early war efforts, where he believes he was a hero, and all military evidence shows that he was drummed out of the Corps. Little drips of rain. Hello, Selma. Hello, David. Thanks for joining in. Last night, if you looked at my longer live, and by the way, the lives, I imagine, unless you're watching them live, there's a lot of boring gaps to go on in the middle of it. But one of the elements, so I wonder who we're waiting for tonight. Good day for the birthday? They're getting a little heckling from our friend Shannon. Last night you would have seen the building lit up a little bit more, and almost every light up here was on except for the very top right-hand corner. And when I backed across the street, you were able to see, well, I don't know if you would have seen it, but there was somebody in the window, but he backed away from the window pretty quickly. It's really interesting that as a church who welcomes everybody, how much they hide from the public. They're not a church that stands up well to light. And They're waiting for some arrival right now because these two, the uniform people are, you might be able to see their silhouettes on this, but there's two people just inside this door. They're waiting to bring somebody in. When I was, I arrived through the back alley, and like I said, it was the guy that does the drone footage. We've got somebody exiting, heading down the street. So they're trying to get drone footage. It'll be a little bit more challenging today because they've got rain. Howdy, everybody.
This is Windy City Fake News.
Yeah. And to my channel, this is Shannon, but anybody who knows me knows Shannon. So
Well, they know the color of the
Yes.
Oh, there she is.
I'm a subset of.
So there's someone supposed to be several people. Others are joining us today.
That'd be nice.
Yes.
So last night
That would
was
be nice.
I was so frustrated because I know
I
that
can tell.
they were all hanging out right here, and once they went in to Columbia, the rest of them kind of moved to the back, and I knew they would have gone outside. Yep.
I just wanted to know if you guys,
Oh, it's you. I'm Shannon.
you guys are live.
Yes.
Fuck Scientology.
That's
Excellent.
right.
In Hebrew or Arabic, you say Khaluf.
Haloof.
What's that mean?
Khaluf. Oh. Yeah, no.
Oh,
It's
Khaluf.
Zahir Khaluf.
Okay, I like it.
Arabic and Hebrew.
Tut,
They
tut, tut.
came to Israel.
Here's
Oh,
our
got people. Oh my God.
popcorn vendor. It's a cult. You don't have to stay in it.
Anytime you want out, we'll help.
Come out of the cult. Come into the light.
People care.
Yes, we go watch movies for real.
Are you going to stream or are you just videoing for
No.
now? Just videoing for now?
I'm a doctor of clinical
Ah.
psychology, and I've had
Makes it a little bit more challenging to.
I've had some, like, you have no idea, like, some of the people that I've worked with, Scientology has hurt certain people that I care about so
Oh, yeah.
tremendously. And it took them, like, one guy took 5 years for him just to get back on, like, a normal back into life path.
Cult.
Literally
It's a cult.
destroyed
Do you
the
want to
lives.
introduce yourself to my channel? Here's our new comrade.
My name is Dr. Isreal Brownstein. People, Isreal would be the English word for my first name. And
Isreal.
yes, like the country. I have personal experience with dealing. I'm a clinical psychologist. Scientology has literally destroyed numerous people that I have been close to and that I love and I care about tremendously. There's one individual that's still recovering from this cult, 5 years. And the fact that listen, Judaism in essence is not a religion. My brother's an atheist, but his mom's a Jew. I consider myself a religious Jew, so I do care about religion. And I will tell you that my Arabic, Islamic friends, my Christian friends, they tried to make the Church of Scientology in the old city, in Jerusalem, the walled city, where there's a quarter for Christians, there's a quarter for Jews, there's a quarter for Arabic, and they tried to create their own little quarter. And they were telling everybody there, we can assist you.
Lisa is saying shalom to you.
Shalom, shalom, Lisa, manishma.
She's Jewish too. She says shalom, Israel.
Shalom, shalom, manishma. And they tried to open up in the old city a quarter for themselves. They got thrown out so fast. It was, thank God, literally. Again, religion for me is not the most important thing. I do a lot of public speaking and stuff. My personal life. I grew up really hardcore religious, and I know the difference between a religion and a cult.
It's a cult.
And this is
That's
a
a cult.
Khaluf.
It really is a cult.
Khaluf.
Do you know what Scientology is?
No.
It is a cultic church, so they do very nefarious things. They're going to ask you for your money. They'll give you a free little intro exam. It's like when a street cocaine dealer gives you that first toot, and then every time after that, you're going to pay for it through the nose. And they're terrible. They protect.
They do human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
They do,
Are you in school here?
Credit card fraud.
Columbia, no, I go to high school.
So you live in
Do you?
Chicago?
Jones, you're Jones.
Yeah.
Do you want
Nice.
to say hi to my channel? Just wave. Okay. How about watch
No
a
problem.
movie called Going Clear. Sorry? Going Clear? It'll tell you all about it. Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, honey.
I call it
Go on, you got into
yeah,
it.
no, so no, it's okay, it's okay. I call it
Okay, they're asking if
clinical
you.
rage. It's like I can't even believe what was on. It's insanity.
It is.
I knew of a guy also in my jiu-jitsu. I do a lot of MMA, and there was this guy that got tangled up in it. He was just walking down the block in California, and there was like a little way back.
Okay.
And they had like pictures of like celebrities that were on the tent, and they were selling that famous book by Elron, you know, selling that famous book by Elron Hubbard.
Yeah.
Yep, Dianetics.
Yep, Dianetics, yes.
Sorry, you guys.
They were trying to,
In a little bit, I will, when my battery's running low, sorry guys, it was the phone. In a little bit, when my battery gets low, I will turn the whole thing off and start a new stream, and then I'll be able to put on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
no, it's just, it's
So you
tremendous.
have-
I call it, it's
Well, you
clinical
said
rage right now. It's like I have the ability to still be calm, but like, I love street LA.
Yep.
Because, like, are you fucking kidding me?
He was on the. He stayed on the curb.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? This is insane.
This is a public sidewalk.
Literally public.
So not sure who this Mercedes is, but they've been looking for somebody. And here's another friend. Like I said, they were waiting at the doorway here, waiting for the next people to show up. So the car behind, probably a trailer vehicle. So let's see if we can capture who's coming in this. The man that Shannon's talking to right now, he absolutely is. I think he's going to be out here for a while. He brought some supplies, so. I am curious. So this guy came up, and they probably weren't red blue lights, which are allowed to do flashers on non-red blue. Otherwise, it would have been a bit of a problem. Yeah, I would say this was a bit of a cluster. So this big white van showed up. He came in pretty aggressive. And then there was a car trying to back up into him, so that was a challenge. Don't know if this is tech stuff coming in or not. At lunchtime, I don't know if you saw, but I was able to look in the windows, and there was a 9 or 10-year-old sitting at the desk where most of the crowd, like in the morning, that's kind of where the group's hanging out inside. So let's see here. If I was to guess, this is people trying to set up sound for the birthday celebration. The birthday celebration will happen on this weekend. So. For now, they've headed into Paisans, so it might be nothing.
I didn't even notice it. My eyes were like, who is that? And I was little kid, my eyes.
Oh, we got second floor blind tech going on. Let me check here. So the two guys that got out of the white van walked into Paisans. I'm going to be sad if Paisans has become corrupted to that level. Yeah, their back door is open right now. Hey, Shannon, are you going to stay out front for a bit? Because the guys that walked into Paisans, they went straight out the back door, so I'm wondering if they're going next door.
Oh.
No, because otherwise then they come out the front door. So I want to make sure your capture stuff's up here.
Okay.
And you're going to stick around for a bit?
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
I came out. I'm here. Okay.
Just curious to see what those techs are planning to do. Now, one of the things you might hear, I think you'll have heard this on Shannon's channel, but you've heard it from others, and it is true. On the day of the event, there was a wire that was going up from Scientology onto the rooftop of Paisans, which was likely just for the day of the event to give them either another camera or another light or something of that nature. But that wire no longer exists. There's no evidence that there's a wire still running up to the roof of Paisans from the back. I think I showed that a couple of nights ago. And again, I'm not defending, I'm not trying to be a Scientology defender. I'm just trying to say that, hey, they do some nefarious shit, but yeah, I don't want to add hyperbole to a story. They do enough bad shit. We don't have to make shit up. So yeah, something's going on back here. If anybody's in both channels, and I asked Shannon just out front just to make sure she could monitor anything that's going on in front. Howdy. That car that's sitting there, somebody's running the car. Somebody did roll down their window as I passed by. So every possibility that that's somebody who's contracted to the organization. Full load. So the bags that I saw there were Manfrotto, and Manfrotto happens to be camera gear. So again, I think they're just doing photo work. Maybe this is remnants of what was here for the celebration. But at the end of the day, I think that what we're seeing is either setup of, or they did another photo shoot here recently. I'm gonna see if I can get my gimbal has a bit of a height extension, so I'll walk past again because they've left the door open. Oh, now they've closed it. Thank you. Yeah, so they closed it as it came back by. But again, I think that's the guy that I saw here last night with the drone. And then that car is loaded to the hilt with bags. Most of the bags have camera names. They've got camera names. Manfrotto is one of the. Manfrotto sells camera equipment, not cameras themselves, but things like lighting, sound, light deflectors, green screens. So this car is no longer here. So there, like, as I said, when I passed by, there was a car here. And again, it could have been somebody from that building and just luck of the draw that I walked by as they were walking by. Something that I noticed, and again, I've got a very small audience, so you guys are all hearing the same thing over and over again, and I'm sorry about that, but the amount of staff that I see in this org is much larger than I had anticipated. It was a sleepy little building up in Lakeview, and this is probably a remnant of whatever firing back means, right, with the new Golden Age version 74, that they brought back the new execs who are trained in the super awesome Xenu world. They've been out campaigning. They have recruits. There is no doubt that they're making some gains right now. We keep on hearing from the Columbia students that they're almost universally against or anti-Scientology. At the end of the day, it's very possibly an echo chamber, right? So a person who's protesting Scientology is more than happy to come up and talk to us. A person who's not protesting or happy with Scientology probably has no reason to come up and visit with us. Yes. Selma, that's kind of the way that I heard it from Aaron, and Aaron had a source that they were going to have the live ceremony this weekend, and then they would have a replay at all the orgs on March 30th, which, you know, we're a ways away from March 30th. So, oh, maybe it's that if it's 23rd and 30th, this might be one of the 23rd orgs, which would make sense that they're bringing in the equipment to do that.
It's choice. I would have asked him, what do you want? I would have given him a menu. But that's like, yeah, it's something, yes, I did know that. It's something I also would kind of do. You know what I mean? I had some friends that were...
So, a bunch of camera equipment being pulled in. I have a feeling that it's in order to make the celebration work here, they're bringing in all of the audio-visual equipment that's going on through there. I can't really connect this white van to them yet, but it was the guy. They went into Paisan. Yep. Yeah.
They literally pulled up like...
Oh yeah, they were pretty aggressive on the parking.
Right. And just like giving you the side eye, the mad eye.
Yeah, he did. He was like, oh, another person?
Yeah, big guy.
I'm going to be coming out here every day that I possibly can.
Good, I'll be out with you.
Good, good.
I'm going to do a live every day, and I'm going to do a chat with my...
I try to do what I can do.
And I'm going to be out here.
Take advantage of my speed where it applies.
No. So then you have my... I actually sent you all my info, right? So you have all my info, let me know, because it'll be more of a... Because as much as I can talk, a lot of it's like anxiety. My issue is not like I'm physically scared.
Right.
I'm like socially.
Correct.
You know.
Can you do me a favor? Can you take a picture of that? That's my email and the channel.
Yes, absolutely.
That's kind of the way that I don't have to expose it. Well,
I didn't know there was anyone else, so there's a bunch of us
yeah.
here.
Okay. Oh, and you know, Trash is coming.
Yeah, excellent. He won't respond to me either.
I will absolutely be sending you info, just so you know.
Thank you.
I'll be sending you.
I appreciate it.
Did you see me across the street till the guy pulled up? I was screaming. I don't tape like live, but look, this is. I walked up. I realized I was here. This is my I don't mind taking a video.
Yeah, I do think that part of it is Sea Org, but also the idea that, you know, that staff probably has to move on to whatever the next org is that is going to open. Whether that's Boston, I don't know.
Here, if you want to take a picture of this.
Yes. You guys, do you have any questions for Isreal that you want to pass along to me? I can ask him while we're
Is your family home safe? Oh, sorry. Going back to, are they? Carrie, that's disheartening. And I haven't been in there for probably 3 months, but I used to go there probably once a week. I want to go in and see if any of the staff that I used to work, that I used to eat with, if they're still there. I do think that it's actual staff that's going to stay here.
And you have to understand, like, I wasn't religious, you know, I became not religious. I was never disconnected from my family, you know, but things like shit doesn't happen.
Interesting photo came up. Although it could be somebody just wanting to feed their parking meter and didn't know what their license plate was. Because this is interesting. This license plate here is Nebraska.
And mostly it's a mentoring program, and it kind of runs itself in a beautiful way. So I have, like, at any given time, 100 people in my program.
I'm going to kind of go over Shannon's shoulder.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you found a particular type of therapy that is effective for people who escape from high control groups?
So there is an answer to that question, and there's a unique woman who came up with one. I don't know if you've ever heard of EMDR.
Yes.
So
I do brain spotting.
Okay, there you go.
Came out
So
of EMDR,
people believe that especially cults, EMDR is very effective because people don't realize there's, like, imagery that you create, like, while you're going through that therapy. And so, but I would say it really depends on the person.
Right.
I'm going to pull another microphone out, see if that will help a little bit with hearing what people who aren't me are saying.
I literally went from, like, 0 to 100.
Interesting parking. A lot of times you go back first, but we'll see. Just. Sorry, I'm not watching the camera right now. I'm grabbing the other microphone.
I'll tell you exactly. You want to know what it is? It's a simple equation.
Yeah.
Confused, but still unwanted. We need to stop at right end, and we can get it. So it's not like good credit or whatever it is, or someone that can see you. This one father didn't speak to his son.
Yeah, some people go their whole lives. I mean, are you familiar with Liz Ferris?
A little bit. I've been learning more and more about the names. I've known
Tell
about
him about Liz Ferris.
Scientology forever. But yeah, tell me a little bit. Go ahead, please.
So
my people want to know if you're going to stream. Are you going to stream?
I will start when somebody teaches me how.
Okay, we'll teach you.
One of my peeps in my program, one of the young teenagers, they promise that they're going to teach me.
It's so easy.
I already have followers because of music.
Good.
And my story.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I get interviewed
so
by,
go ahead,
CNN.
tell them.
So Liz's story was she was in when she got out. By the way, Scientology likes traditional conservative relationships. One man, one woman.
We're going to Duncan.
When Liz got out, I don't remember what her exit story was, but she had been told that her father was dead for the longest time. And about 2 weeks ago, her father showed up at an event. I'll say it's close to a month. Close to a month ago now. But yeah, her father showed up, and that's the first time that she had seen her father in forever. And that was her first realization that her father's not dead.
For 20 years.
And that's what this cult thinks is okay. Let's hide you from your family.
And the guy was saying, oh, no, it's all about, it's just about executive coaching, life coaching. That's what it is.
It's horrible. It's like,
you don't have to go in there. You can leave right now.
In every
don't
other
go
religion
in. It's
the
a
world,
cult.
you want to talk about religions?
I mean, it doesn't help to say
they
it's
bring
a cult.
you in
They know
warm,
it's a cult.
and even if they're
well,
trying
no, they
to get
don't.
you to believe
But
certain things, they bring you in warm, and they would never disconnect you from it. I mean, it's insanity.
There's few. The high controls will do it. I think that Scientology does it more than anybody, or at least it's the one that I hear about the most doing it.
I don't believe there's anyone that does it more than them besides other cults.
Yeah, FDLS.
They're the only ones that got the. I have a 501c3 myself. They're the first organization ever to have a 501c3 without documenting what makes them a religion based upon the dictionary terms. They're like even let's just use the general Mormon,
right?
You know what I mean? Mormon, that part of religion, that space, they can describe what makes them a religion.
Right. And yes, the one thing that they'll say is we have worship, but they don't congregate. They don't congregate.
I know too many people that have been.
It's always one-on-one, right? That's going on in there.
The kids, man.
Yeah, that's ugly stuff.
Kids, man.
And the idea that, Surge is the story that my audience hears this a lot. Surge is a story we hear about.
Surge, literal Surge?
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Who are the thousands of kids that haven't come forward? Yes. Yeah.
Surge, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, go. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I was just trying to read what's going on here. Plus, I want to make sure. Can you guys hear? I've got the extra mic out there, so can you hear the person speaking? Isreal. Is your family safe back home, or do you have family back home?
I have family here. My whole family lives in. Pretty much my entire family lives right now, like in the Jewish ghetto. Okay. It's on like way north.
Right.
Way north, like literally like right off of Evans Street. It's called West Rogers Park. That's like the ultra Orthodox Jewish community here. So yeah, my dad's a big rabbi.
Yeah. Good.
I was talking to him about this because he's actually the liaison in part of the Jewish community for like the government. Like he meets with like officials and stuff like that. And I was just educating him. I found out this up. I was telling him he couldn't believe it. He's like, it just didn't make sense to him. He's like, there must be something else. He was like trying to respect him.
Yep.
There must be something else. Like you're not explaining to him. I promise you, this is it.
It doesn't stand up to light. That's really what the problem is. That it works in the shadows. It just doesn't stand up to light. So.
And people don't notice this, but if you there's about 6 religions that you can draw their emblem within that cross. So it's like instead of just having a cross Christianity, then you make a bunch of points which could create the Star of David, and then you create the points which makes the crescent of the moon. It like literally they're trying to like. When I heard them say like when the people I love the most, and it's too hard for me to speak. I know someone who passed away. Never. I mean. Had issues too. I don't want to totally blame
the number of people who are no longer alive by their own hand.
Get off your medication. So he's off his medication. They put him in that place in California. They have like a detox place. Yeah.
So Criminon or Narconon.
Narconon. Yeah. They put him in Narconon, and then we didn't hear from him for like a few weeks, and then we found him, unfortunately. Yeah. But they just got to him for the purposes of detox. We don't know the story. I have a few friends that they have similar stories, not from Scientology. I only know one person that from Scientology. It destroyed me.
Yeah. It's absolutely tragic. No problem.
Can you do this while I get the battery?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What, am I looking at comments or no?
Hi, Shannon's crowd. We've kind of just been talking about other, relationships that that Israel's had of people that have been in these high stress religions, and there's a history of unalived people by their own hand in this organization, and some of the stories are absolutely ridiculous. I remember on Blown for Good, the story where the person was found in an electrical vault underground, and they had committed, the claim was they accidentally touched something down there. And it's like, they committed suicide elsewhere, and you brought them down there.
Es a secta.
Una secta. I see it in my brain. I watch every day here streets. He's always.
Es una secta.
Let me go back on any of the comments, see if I missed anything here.
How many people are in your chat?
Thanks, Fuzzy. I've got about 20 right now.
That's awesome.
So she's the big wig in Chicago right now.
No, I'm not.
Well, she is because it's very hard for me to find this type of stuff, and I got her. I found her email.
Yeah.
What I did was I made.
Just because I do a lot of videos.
Who's the other channel that there's Aaron? There's two that I watch on SBTV a lot. There's Aaron. Natalie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does a lot of
lives up in
videos.
Chicago.
Yeah, I know, I'm just there.
I didn't know that. Oh yeah, and she's like one that I've been watching her for like the past month or two. I had no idea.
Oh, don't do that.
Is that what
So sweet. Yeah.
she really is.
So
She's
sweet.
All right, I just put a magnet on the gimbal, and that seems to really not like it.
Because she's really pretty. But I mean, you should see her in person. Yeah, she's
I know she talks about grandkids and stuff, and that's one thing that I find weird. Is she doesn't look like she's.
not at all. No, and her Tony, her partner, is amazing and wonderful.
Yes.
Was
What do
he
we
in,
have?
was he in
Oh, we have
Scientology together?
We don't have a lot of people left.
They'll get back.
I've only got 133. I think I started with 2. If you want to support Shannon, thank you, Are You John? Appreciate it. I'm doing good right now, though.
It's crazy. To me, the whole thing is just, it's like, it's, you do what you want, even have the whole, like, getting it certified by the government, which it creates so many issues for people that could get sucked in.
What do you look for?
I'm looking at your
Okay.
microphone. So this microphone, I got one that's like that for another person that keeps the wind away. And then I got one for myself. So
Yeah, we're trying to get just kind of level up our game a little bit in regards to making sure we've got good equipment out here.
Right. I'll definitely eventually start streaming too.
That's excellent. And some of the time that, I'm not, to come out here and just show a presence is good as well. That one of the things that I did 2 days ago was the first time I saw them body routing. Body routing is them coming out and proselytizing, right?
I've watched enough of this.
So I just followed the guy. Every time he handed out the brochure, I would go talk to him and say, listen, it's a cult, and everything like that. And eventually they go in the garbage can, or people say, yeah, we know. You could tell the guy was frustrated. He ended up.
Yeah, it's like I'm not mad at the individual. Like for me personally, I'm never mad at the individuals walking around, even if like maybe I should not care. But I kind of care about them. It's just the organization as a whole is what pisses me off. You know, so.
And I think that's what most of our positions are. That we are not anti-Scientologist. We're anti-Scientology.
Oh, very good. That's
So,
it. Yeah, well said.
and there are people that have drank the Kool-Aid and that are vindictive, vengeful, mean. The Sean guy, right? It's really hard for me to feel bad for him.
Is he the one that was on the Sunday? He was standing.
Yeah, he was the one that was giving her
And
such a
didn't
hard
she
time.
Say she knew him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like her daughter. What did
It
she say
was so
her daughter
Natalie's
again?
daughter and him were in the nursery at the same time. So Sean and Natalie's daughter.
What did she say about it? Like as a psychologist?
Door's not open.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So young.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So
sad.
I always.
And it's also the kids thing. It separates it so much in religion. Like, I'm not saying listen, there's horrible things that go on in religion, other religions as well. I'm not defending it. But this is just, streets explains it well sometimes. What really defines this versus like other.
It's a pyramid scheme, pay as you play. It's got every negative connotation that you could associate with an organization. The tax evasion, the fraud, the credit card fraud, the Chase wave that went through where they just signed up everybody, ruined their credit. So even if they were to try and come out, so they wouldn't have been. How did they land on their own 2 feet? So
I heard recently that they made a deal with Target for a while, and they had like everybody sign up for credit cards at Target, and they ended up
defaulting on all that.
Yeah.
There was, and again, there's so many channels, and I kind of flood my brain with them at night. One of the channels was mentioning that this guy had taken out loans for school and then used all of his school loans, gave all of his school loans to the church, never finished school. So now you got this, millstone of a weight around your neck on the idea. It's hard to recover from that.
I literally went to school, the graduate school building, literally probably about I don't know, less than a mile from here.
Yeah.
And when I heard they were here, I'm just like, I can't believe it.
Right.
It's like the amount of like young adults that are impressionable that are walking by. I feel like that's like they're more susceptible.
Yeah.
They're much more susceptible.
Now, the one thing I'll say is that, hey, higher education is an advantage, but you're right. It's an idealistic. The entry level elements are idealistic. It's a common sense self help organization when you walk in the door, and then it starts escalating up. Last night, so
The love bombing, which is a real psychological thing. The love bombing of Iran Scientology is like no other. It's insane. In the beginning, it's just like.
Okay, so Beaver wants to say hello to his Jewish brother.
Okay,
He just wanted me to tell you hello.
you got it. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
What's up?
Shalom.
last night, one of the people
Yes,
came out of here and went into Columbia. There was a group of 3 kids that went in there. There was 6 to 8 more that they were afraid to come out the front, so they went out the back. And my guess is, if you look at it, you've got Columbia right here. You've got a couple of Roosevelts here, a DePaul down here, Robert Morris. Loyola's further away, so
But I feel like that is what they did. I just want you to know, when I saw what was going on that Sunday, I watched. I believe
it was her channel. Yeah, she was.
When I saw the foot traffic that was involved, I was just blown away, completely blown away. That like there were so many young people trying to get out of the buildings and they couldn't even. And it's like, how the hell are they able to stop people that live in those buildings? They live there.
So this is a scary story. So one of the people that we protested with, we went to COPA, Chicago Organization of Police. It's the people that are the outside citizens organization that monitors police, and that's usually where you make your complaints, right? You can go to internal affairs, but Chicago's as corrupt as LA.
I tried to. That's where I was on Sunday. I planned on coming up here, and I wanted to make a point of being able to come in, and because they handed out to like some very wealthy people in my community,
right?
They handed out invitations, so I just wanted to get in, and I ended up by the police station. It was just chaos, but right outside of Berkeley Field.
Nice.
And I just went straight to internal. I'm like, nope, I'm not talking. Like, it was just, they were just trying to push me away.
So the way that we first went to internal affairs, and we said, hey, we've got a complaint against, and by the way, this is somebody else's story,
Okay.
and I don't want to undress them,
Understood.
but they went to internal affairs first. Internal affairs said, sure, we can take your complaint. And they started, what was the complaint? What was the problem? Who was the person you're complaining about? Captain Harris. Oh, we can't take that. You have to go to the DA. So then he goes to the DA and he says, hey, I'd like to file a complaint against Chicago police officer. Excellent. I can help you with that. What did he do? Blah, blah, blah. What's his name? Captain Harris. Oh, we can't help you with that. So then, which is a lie, but when he went to COPA, COPA said, absolutely, we'll take you, and we shared all the video with them. So I do think that there'll be an action in that space.
So I'll tell you, the one thing that I did was the chaplain in the community. There's 2 chaplains that I'm in touch with. One of them is like a kind of like an Islamic chaplain through UIC,
right?
And then there's in West Rogers Park. He's not. I don't even think he's kind of like a rabbi. So I've been trying to, use whatever little like connections that I have through my community, but they're like, I couldn't believe it. It was the first time ever. Like in other instances, I've always been able to get their assistance,
right.
Whether it was when I was being rebellious and I didn't want, and I felt like other people, whatever it was, and then all of a sudden, it was like I dealt with the police my whole life as a kid. I wasn't a great kid. But I'm just telling you, I've never seen anything like it. I was just staring at people that I know, cops that I know.
Yep.
I'm not like best friends, but like,
In passing, you say hi. You said you talked to the person before.
Yes. Crazy. They wouldn't even take anything.
Yeah.
I sat there for hours.
That's a shame. I'm glad that we haven't seen it yet, and I hope we never do. The incredible bias that's going on in LA, right? The Danny incident.
This thing right
which
now
of the
with
third
LA,
Danny incident?
It's crazy that night. That what I saw, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Streets LA was that day. Danny was taken in when he basically just like pushed the scooter aside.
Yep.
They wouldn't even take
A PPA on the guy.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't take a report from Streets when he was like smashed in the face. And
Right.
oh my god, I couldn't
Guys-
believe it.
guys
I was sitting
bleeding.
there thinking to myself, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going
Right.
on?
I'm sorry. I'm going to go over here real quick because this.
yeah.
I want to see if people are routing through there.
How's it going?
Very well. Just wanted to come over here because I wanted to see if they were just going straight through the back door so that they could disguise their entry. And if they are, I'm going to tell you that I'll put the biggest boycott up against Paisans, even though I've had a long and trusted relationship with the restaurant.
Are they have people going through?
No, they were just there for the. There's times where the other day on Polk there was a guy with a scooter followed me and I was the only one behind me and I was like, oh fuck, already.
I don't understand why they get this free pass from the cops for almost anything.
Money, they're sitting on a boat.
Is it Chicago? I know
Oh,
in
yeah.
LA it's like
Yeah.
I think it's on record in LA. Is it on record in Chicago?
It's not on record in Chicago, but Chicago is known for the police independently line their pockets.
Oh, that
So-
yeah, Chicago's like
And
it's not the most it's
Yeah.
like the second most corrupt.
so it might not be at an organizational level that there's a relationship, but there's absolutely a relationship at a person-to-person level in those spaces. And so Chicago has always had this corruptness
It's
that
against everything the cops are supposed to represent. It's
100%.
against everything.
Yep.
So crazy.
So earlier, when I had asked if your family was safe here, do you have family back in Israel?
Yes, I
Okay.
was born
Are they
there, actually.
are they safe with everything that's going on?
Yeah, it was hard. I've been going back and forth myself.
Okay.
I live in like the condo that I have there right now. I'm in a Palestinian neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood called Beit Safafa, and there's it's a Palestinian neighborhood and an Israeli neighborhood like Connected, and there's a lot of like Bedouins there and stuff, and it's not what people think like the Gaza thing. It's not. It's Jerusalem is just different. Now I'm not talking about the West Bank. I'm just talking about
Right.
the neighborhood, but yeah, it's bad. I mean, I look for the prison system there,
Yeah.
and that includes Israel, whatever you want to say, Israeli, Palestinians, Jewish, whatever it is that you want to refer to it as. Like I don't, my job doesn't even allow me to discriminate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're a citizen, you end up in prison. You end up in prison. I'm not talking about like war crimes and stuff like that. I'm just talking about like random stuff. Like,
Oh, you can get out anytime. Guys, it's nice
I
out.
literally
You
want
can
to
drink
print out
what you
my
want.
organization because my 501c3 is
What you
no
want.
connection to anything.
You
It's
can
not
be
like about
free.
like it doesn't matter if you want to be religious, not religious, you want to be this. No, it's about for real, up to you. There's no like, and a lot of the kids that are lost and young adults that are lost, they end up in the program because they feel like they have nowhere else to turn. And I never use that against them, ever. Like, God forbid, I would ever use that against them.
I applaud you for that. One of the things that I've always thought about,
But there's a lot to be done.
I'm going to use the example of the Israeli-Gaza conflict. At ground zero, yeah, probably. But away from that, most people at the person-to-person level are friends. They happen to be neighbors.
You have no idea.
It's countries that hate one another. It's
Yeah,
not.
no,
it's not people that hate one
so,
another.
It's like that's why I'm like I don't even like you. You're awesome because I don't feel uncomfortable with you discussing it. But it's like it's something that's so hard to discuss. It's such a complicated situation. But what I will say is, I literally live in a neighborhood where my neighbor is a Bedouin. Like I go out my front door and there are goats like right where the car, the little parking lot and stuff. So it's like. They're not. It's not exactly. It's everybody. It's like, yeah. I mean, I was run over by a bus in Israel, a horrible accident, and it was a Palestinian driver, and I didn't know this, but the court was trying to look into whether or not he did it on purpose. There's no way he did it on purpose. There was like this very huge slope. It's a famous slope in Jerusalem, and it came barreling down, and it stopped on top of me for like 5 minutes. 80 tons of pressure. But point is, when I went and the court was doing it, I sat next to him in court.
Right.
It wasn't like the driver sitting over there and like, you know, and the judge like, you know, they understood. It wasn't like, it ended up not being a big deal. if I would have made a big deal, it would have been about the company.
Right.
It wasn't the driver, that's for sure.
Yep.
At all, like not even a chance. And I stayed. I was we were friends.
Yeah, I think that's more common than people that we hear the news. The news doesn't make money telling good stories like that. The news makes money talking about the hatred.
There is crazy stuff that goes on, and it is like, you know, a little bit of everything, like all over the place. But what I'll say is, like when I was specifically when I was becoming a paramedic, there was I don't want to like dox the person,
right?
But there was someone basically like everybody had to have like a buddy in class, and you know, like people just gravitate towards you. He's like, okay, everybody got a group, and none of us knew each other, and it was like automatic. Palestinian chick and me, and like we immediately like. It's just like we both have that same similar understanding of the world and whatever it was. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. And so, like, for example, when everything went down, I called her to find out if everybody in her family was safe. And I don't wish harm anybody.
Yeah, wars, it's atrocious. And there's too many civilians to take care of. I'm gonna break off to go around back again, all right? But thanks, I'll be back. I'm gonna head around back again. I want to see if that door's open.
Okay.
See more org members coming. Great day at the cult. Protect as many criminals as possible. I'm going to go all the way through to see if the back door of the place where that band's going in, because I believe that's a sound equipment group as well. Just based upon the branding. I will, Ollie. Yes. And I appreciate that. Thank you both, Lorraine and Ellie. I will say that I am mostly confrontational averse. I grew up and I have a very smart mouth. And I explained to everybody that the reason I learned how to run so fast is because I have a smart aleck attitude. Yeah, so maybe they're just on smoking break right here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to find open doors between here and Paisans. Yeah. Yeah, just before I left to come over here, I was watching Selfless Self, and he was doing a great job over there in Denver. Saw Jeff, PTS for Life, did a bit of a show on him. So. Anytime you want out, we can help. Yeah, so I think they're coming through that door when they go through the front of Paisans. I'm impressed by all the mods, especially the mods that are doing multiple channels. And they're really, they're, in the case of live streaming, for the people that are out on the street, it's invaluable that I don't have to look at that, at what's going on in that space. I can try to concentrate on just documenting what we can in this space. Now, we just saw there, right, the elderly, the guy on the left, I'm going to guess, was a contractor of some sort. And they were looking at the garage that is the delivery port for Columbia. The older gentleman in the Sea Org uniform, is he true Sea Org? Is he staff? I still always get confused by, is staff a subset of Sea Org in those spaces?
I just have a question.
Yes.
I saw you outside the Scientology building.
Yes.
Well, we were like, what's?
So do you know what Scientology is?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So there's an awful lot of criminal activity that goes on in that space.
No, I support what
Okay.
you're doing, like all
Yes.
the way. But are you just?
We're really just trying to thwart their efforts.
Good.
Already, so they had a grand opening on March 3rd, right? That
That's what
if
he
you
was
lived here,
telling me.
it was a night. If you couldn't get up and down the street,
Right.
Then last night they've already indoctrinated several of the students from some of the colleges,
See, I hate
and they're leaving with paperwork out the front and the back. Like the guy there were 3 females that walked out the front of Scientology, walked right into Columbia, and they badged in, which I have to assume they're students if they're able to badge into that
right.
dorm. There were 2 other groups that came out, and they would have gone down here. I was standing at the front door, so I'm sure that they circled around behind, coming out the back alley. And we've got Roosevelt, Robert Morris,
Right.
DePaul,
Right.
all over here.
It's
So
awful. It's
yeah.
awful what they're doing. I appreciate you. You know.
thank you.
doing the-
I just don't like. I think they're terrible neighbors,
Yeah.
and I just don't want people going through the same thing.
Well,
That
thank you for
and it
doing
does
what
go.
you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care now. Have a great afternoon. I hope that I was close enough to them that you heard them. There definitely is an overwhelming majority that despises everything that this organization stands for. But again, there's going to be those few that get through. Thank you, Dee. And I agree. I do think it's important. All of these channels, right? The loosely connected group of SPTV. We all can't believe that people don't know about Scientology because we're in an echo chamber. We keep on hearing it, and there are so many people that really have no understanding of what this organization is all about. And I think it's important that we try to stop as many people as possible from that introductory level. I don't want to give anybody that first toot.
I was saying the biggest rat I've ever seen was on the outback.
Yes.
Now goes underground. That's the biggest rat. But the most rat I've ever seen was in Harlem, in New York City.
Do you know that for every one person, there's how many rats?
I don't know.
No, it's a real statistic, for real.
I believe
I wouldn't be
it.
surprised.
I think
We're doing rat chat now. And I usually, if other protesters are having conversation, if I feel I can record both of them, I'm more than happy to. But otherwise, I don't want to have the two dueling noises. Yeah, that's last night was troubling on the idea that I'm going to go with the students that went out and back to their dorms or back to their colleges to recruit. They've got to be relatively new in. I don't think these are long-lived members of the church by any means. And me telling you that, hey, this organization supports rapists. This protects and supports rapists. It protects and supports child abuse, family disconnection, child trafficking, human trafficking. And if you're a college student, I can't imagine how your first thing when you go home is, oh, I gotta Google this, right? And I would not be surprised if all three of those people that I saw last night going to Columbia are still on board with them this morning, right? It's just scary. And I don't know if in a college, it's a private college. I don't know that if in a private college, you can enforce a ban on proselytization of religion, right? I don't think Columbia, oh, you're bringing your children to a child trafficking cult. That was scary. I hope I got that on camera quickly enough that, right, 3 young kids. Yeah, and I think that's, again, that idealistic element.
We're going to go in the alley.
Okay, yeah, and there's a guy back there. There's no van back there right now.
Okay.
There is a staff member back there and somebody else is back there, and they're looking at the loading deck of Columbia. I don't know what they're doing, but that's what they've got their eye on right now.
Is it okay with you if we leave
Oh,
our
absolutely.
bags here?
Yeah.
Okay. And if any, like Moth or any of the kids come out, tell them I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Yeah, and oops, sorry. Oh, why is that happening? Bridge, I 100% agree with this. I will bet that when they knew that they were going to come down here and open, that they were down here for weeks at these colleges, setting up tables, making introductions, everything they could in regards to weaning the new crowd of Scientologists. Hey, Nance. How are you today? Yeah. I'm pretty sure these comments are in regards to the children that we just saw go in there earlier. Definitely catch up on the sleep. It's where the body heals best. And I'm not sure if that's a Scientology statement or not, but it's something that I think is common sense. Yeah, there are definitely elements of the last couple of days that have been very bothersome in that they've got more traction than we thought they did, right? So at lunchtime I was over here and there was a girl who like as we look at as we look at the front of the building, right, we've got the 4 windows. The 2 on the right, there's a column all the way back to the back, and then the 2 on the left, there's a column all the way back, or a hallway all the way back to the back. On this left-hand side is usually where it looks like there's an administrative person there, or people tend to congregate around this desk that's about halfway back. And at lunchtime, there was a girl, 9, 10 years old, just sitting there chatting with an adult. I'll pretend it was a mom. I have no understanding what the relationship would have been. Anytime you want out, we'll help. I think that part of this is the idea that Miscavige had to make a move. He's been collecting money. He's been claiming we'd be doing ideal. People are probably losing a little bit of faith. I understand that there are plenty of true believers in there, but people are starting to lose a little bit of faith, and that is probably why we're seeing this crush of, well, it's 2 things, right? We're seeing the error in terms of what they're shooting back or firing back all of the executives. So they've trained everybody for this round of golden tech, and they've got to show that they're putting the money to good use. Yeah, what? I did think about that the other day. That, one of these 2 buildings, right? So you've got that staggered building. If we had, well, there is the one side. You can see the lights right there. You see the lights on the side of the taller building to the right. Those lights are shining down on a billboard. Now, if somebody could just lend me $1 billion, I'll see if I can get a sign up there. That's true. Now, I haven't researched Chicago, but I don't think Chicago had the same issue that we were seeing from Pearl Snappy down in Austin. I don't know that Chicago has a use it or lose it tax exemption on properties. Another thing I'll find interesting, I'm pretty sure they owned the property up at Lakeview, and they typically don't divest because real estate is a place where it's easy to keep tax-free status. But if they're not doing work, services or worship up there, maybe it isn't a religious building, and maybe they do have to pay taxes on that. Right, New Haven, right, and that was a city level element. That city or state level element. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Good day working for the cult? All right, I'm going to go out on a flyer here. That's the person that we saw in the back alley talking to the Scientologist, and they just walked into, yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very well. How do you like your new neighbors?
Don't like them very much.
right. Last night I saw the scariest thing. They're recruiting already, and there were 3 people that came out of here with pamphlets in their arms, walked straight over to your building, and they badged in. And I assume if they badged in, they're a student. And I'm sure they're upstairs proselytizing. That was last night.
Yeah, I don't know if there's other people that live in this building, but from mainly it should be students. So yeah, that might be a thing. That was what I was really worried about, which is, I mean, they picked this location with a purpose.
Correct.
They know where it's at.
Yeah.
And, I don't really like it. And they closed down this whole road first weekend of them opening, and I came out to see the commotion, and they kicked me off the sidewalk.
That's just
and then they
bullshit.
started
The whole thing.
IDing kids to get on the sidewalk to get into their building.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Everything they did was illegal, but they had the police in their pocket, and the police said, "Well, we'll talk to the building department on Tuesday and see what they have to say." But it's like, well, after the fact, who cares?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Do you know how long this is? Is this first time it being open?
it's been open since the 3rd.
Since the third,
It has been open. Now, they had a grand opening then on the 4th.
right?
They had a celebratory picture this past Monday.
But before any of that, this wasn't open.
Oh, no. Now, they used to be... Do you have any issue being on camera? Okay. So, what they... sorry, let me get my other mic. Otherwise, they don't hear you very well. And that way you don't have to talk into my face. They have an organization. They had an organization or a building up in Lakeview, and that's where they had been doing all of their work out of. So they've owned this building since 2007. In 2015, they started some aggressive renovation and thought, "Oh, cool, let's start building out the church." And the college put up quite a bit of stink at that point in time, and everybody put up a stink about it, and it just never went anywhere. And then COVID hit, and now they've just... One of the things that's happened is David Miscavige, who's the leader of the cult, he promised everybody if you donate a bunch of money to me, we'll open up these ideal orgs. This is called an ideal org. Have a great day at the cult. So that's kind of what's going on here. And you're right. I think it's a prime location, a target-rich environment for young minds.
Every single one of these buildings right here.
Yeah.
This has got a whole bunch of college students in it.
Yep.
This one, they may not be as much college students, but there's a lot of new young people living in that building too.
Absolutely.
And every building almost around here right now is
Correct.
a lot of young people right now.
Yeah, and think about it. State Street's 2 blocks over? That's all dorms and residences for the 5 colleges that are down here in the Loop or the South Loop. So, have you seen? You really haven't seen any activity of the uniformed people inside yet?
Not really right now. They just, I'm actually a sophomore, and they've been building this up. I've actually kind of watched the progress of this building a little bit.
My old body router.
And I kind of saw some of it being built. It was, they had a garbage bag on the side
Yes.
for the longest, and they would blow over. We saw a church at one point, but we didn't know what kind of church.
Right.
And obviously those doors, whatever.
They were all...
This was all boarded up. You couldn't see anything. That used to be a smoke spot for everybody in
Yep.
the school. Same with right here.
What was it? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right? The ground level was... There was no glass here yet.
No, I think this is all boarded up.
Yeah.
These doors, both of them are boarded up with whiteboards too.
Right.
You could see the glass behind it, and honestly, you could see the design, but I couldn't get to see enough of it.
Yeah.
But you can see the outer rim. Yeah.
What's also... It's a landmark building, and if you look just inside the doors, they don't really let me in anymore. If you look just inside the doors, there are the plaques for it's the Art Craft building, and then the last paragraph is, and now Scientology came in and made it better. Cultists going to work. Let's protect the child traffickers. Let's protect the rapists.
I'm also really paranoid about all the people on this road now in suits.
Yes.
Used to be fairly quiet, and now there's a lot of rich people looking rich people in suits and really fancy suits walking around here. Honestly, they haven't really done too much, but they have been kind of playing mind games though.
Correct.
Just the looks they give us, kind of the smirk, little giggles they do when they walk past, and talking to each other.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing going on with the baggage there.
You don't have a car up here, do you?
No. They're pretty good about, so they've got a guy who comes out and he feeds the meter, so they park a lot of cars here, quite a bit. Not always, but that's one of their tactics. And to go back to the earlier statement, they're on their first date right now, so you're not seeing who they are, right?
Good sign.
In this process, right? And even at the lowest levels, the indoctrination levels, it's common sense self-help, and their mission is we're going to save the world. If I'm a young kid growing up, it's like, yeah, saving the world sounds good.
Right.
Yeah, this common sense stuff makes good self-help.
Give you money with it
Right?
too.
Yeah. And then you start getting sucked into this stuff, and it gets really, really expensive as you go. Go ahead, sir.
What are like the really core ideologies of Scientology?
So they say there's 8, not principles. There are 8 elements of it, and they claim that they give light to, or they believe in all religions, but it turns out you can't be part of another religion and be a member of the church. They'll say you can, but then as you enter into the church, like, yeah, we didn't really mean that when you said it. If you go on Scientology.org, there's 8 elements, and maybe somebody in my chat can remind me about what that is. But what really is happening is their claim is they want to clear the planet. So L. Ron Hubbard was a science fiction guy, right? And he wrote a lot of science fiction. He wrote Dianetics. Then he started saying, he hung around with the early potheads, the party guys out in California, and said, you know what, the way to really make money is to start a religion, because they thought it was making money through the books. Well, part of this element is they're trying to get the planet to be clear. And clear is that we want to remove our reactive minds, and we want to say we understand what's going on. And once you get past clear, which is OT level 3, you start learning about this science fiction-y stuff, like the South Park element. There's this fictitious creature from galactic space far away called Xenu. And he got mad at us one day, and he thought we were all punks. So he rounded us up. He threw us into volcanoes on Earth, and then threw meteor, or threw bombs into the volcanoes. And that's the story they try to live on. It's like, wait a second, what's going on here? And that's expensive. So you're talking about $50,000 to get to that point.
And that's more of like a conformity story.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how like they believe if everyone like comes together and kind of conforms to this one dude and this one like ideal, like one idea basically, then you'll be safe. You'll have everything. We'll run the world if we can get everybody to come into that.
It is that. It's closer. Matrix is a good analogy. That they're all kind of, we're all trapped in this imaginary space, and we're programmed that every time we die, we go back to a reset station. And that reset station puts us back in the same space. Then we grow up on Earth again. Then we grow up on Earth again, and we start from 0 and keep going through here. Well, when you overcome this reactive mind, you can start to figure out, how do I bypass that reset center? And you can have recall of past lives. And eventually, enough people will be able to get past that element that will no longer be trapped in the matrix. We'll all be able to escape. So, it's a rather realistic process. It's not a belief system. It's this, you're right, conformity.
It's brainwashing into conformity.
Yes, 100%.
How does this question? How does like the hierarchy of it go? Because I mean, obviously they're recruiting people to take them in and take all their money.
Yep.
So how do they get to the point where they can be higher up and not getting their money taken anymore? And then they're like kind of the ones running it, these guys.
They actually never can escape that, because they get so indoctrinated and brainwashed that, for the love of church type thing. So in Chicago, I don't know what the pay scale is, and I'm not an ex-Scientologist, but I watch a lot of ex-Scientologists, and the explanation is this. that Sea Org is that lowest level where they try to get you in and you're signing a billion-year contract at that point in time. And so you're basically giving your life over. Most Sea Org people, they're supposed to make $45 to $50 a year, a week, $45 to $50 a week. But in reality, if the church didn't do well that week, we don't have enough money for you. Now they get room and board, right? So they get room and board, but they get no money. Then they have what's called staff. And usually staff are people who have kind of said, okay, I don't want to be in Sea Org anymore, but I'll be in staff. And those people are paid also a nominal wage, but even worse than that. They usually have more than one job. So they'll have a church job and a day job, whatever that day job might be, right? But they're not making money. So when you say these rich people in suits, you as a student without a job, or even if you were delivering pizzas, would be crushing them in wages in this process. So that's in that brainwashing realm, that idea that says, yeah, we're doing it for the love of, right? Have a fun day at the cult. Here comes the night shift.
They kind of just, everything is basically just a front. Like,
correct.
It's just, there's nothing really to it. But the whole outside of it is supposed to look all fabulous and majestic.
Absolutely correct. And now they do have an awful lot of wealthy donors, and people like Tom Cruise is the one that we always hear about. Grant Cardone is another one. So he's 10X. He's Scientology. The West Wing daughter. And something's why, but Moss, Elizabeth Moss. Danny Masterson was, right? Now, it's hard to understand whether or not Danny Masterson still is or not, even though he was convicted of raping 2 women, accused of raping probably 10 to 12 women, in prison, sentenced to prison. We still believe that he's a Scientology in good standing, or a Scientologist in good standing, which is ridiculous to think of. But the way that it works is most of these people are here to cater, and they get trained in something called auditing. And everybody in my chat is probably saying, "Wait, thank you, Elizabeth Moss." The people that are here are really to serve those people who are paying top dollar to get the lessons. So you buy lessons in blocks of 12 and a half hours. It's $500 an hour plus in order to do this type of work. If you do something wrong and get called into the principal's office, the conversation with the principal is your dime. You have to pay to go have the principal tell you what you did wrong. They have auditors. And one of the things they do is auditors. It's similar to confession. Now, most Scientologists won't say it's confession, but they're going to have a conversation with you to try to draw out of you, what are you doing wrong type thing. And instead of being able to absolve you, they record that. And now when you want to leave, they have blackmail power over you so they can get around you. And if you've done something really wrong, like this, there's an awful lot of sexual assault. There's an awful lot of raping, child predator type activity that goes on here. These auditors, sometimes they're 12 years old and they're auditing a 50-year-old man. And that one of the things they do is supposed to get really comfortable. One of the ways they get really comfortable in the audit session is to unbuckle their pants and unzip their pants. There are massage tables in these rooms, but it's an auditing session. The auditor has to listen to all of this, and they think that that's a reasonable element. They don't believe like I told you, that you come back to Earth as this being. You happen to occupy a small body at birth, but we shouldn't treat you as a child. You're a thetan. You're. So that's one of the lovely things that goes on in this church. And
is that where like most of the assault cases stuff would come from then? It's just
a lot of them come from that. A lot of them are just the idea of the rank. There is a disparate. You have to say "sir" to somebody that's ranked higher than you, so you can have the you can't consent to that relationship type problem. So Danny Masterson was just somebody who he wasn't a staff member. He was a public, so he paid full price all the time for his courses. He just drugged women and thought he could get away with it. And the church wanted to keep him in good standing because he's a good person as a promotional element to say, look, we've got great people in the church. They would protect him. There's a woman right now that's going through a struggle. She just really related her story recently. When she was abused as a child, they moved her and the abuser out of the country, so now they're out of jurisdiction, can't be convicted for the crime. And the church does this intentionally. It's not, oh, we didn't know this. It's when they find this out.
Is the church worldwide?
Yeah. So last week I was in Tokyo, and I was out in front of the Tokyo organization. Now, the Tokyo organization, there was a sense of normalcy there. In Europe, England, there's a couple of ex-Scientologists out there that are really going. That's where L. Ron Hubbard had his kind of his retreat, where that's the where he really kind of started the religion part of this process. So they've got the same thing there, where they've got the Sea Org members who are getting no money.
Just operates the exact same way.
Yep, exact same way. And all the money funnels back here. And I apologize, chat, I'm paying attention to the interview. If you want to give your name, you can, but feel free. Yeah, I understand. And I would say I don't give my name to him either.
Call me D.
In this, yeah, very nice. So it's just absurd how extremely corrupt everything about this church is, and they get away with anything. Now, they sit on a whole bunch of money. So these donors donate like crazy. They're sitting on $4 billion and they don't pay taxes on anything. So they're able to weather a lot. And they do something called safe pointing, which means they go to the police and they say, hey, we're a great organization. And they have some front organizations like Narconon is them, Criminon is them, CCHR, which is something for human rights. So they have these kind of fictitious fronts, but if you look for all their headquarters are inside of the big base, which is in California. So that's where the executives are at, or in Los Angeles. That's why you're seeing all the protesting outside of that space.
I've actually seen you guys out there.
Nice.
I've watched a couple of your guys' videos. What's your name?
Windy City.
What's that?
Windy City Thetan.
Windy City?
Yeah.
I've watched this, yeah.
So if that's the email, if you want to take a picture of it, and we can chat in more private elements.
Oh, cool. I saw you decide to take the opportunity to learn a little bit about it. Try to do a little bit of my own research, but figured you'd know more about it.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. That really makes me not as comfortable sitting next to it either.
And again, if you don't engage, you're fine.
Right.
And then there's the other side of that if you say nothing, how easy is it for them to spread? Right?
Personally, I've tried to play the mind games back.
Yes. I like that. The kids, so they just opened one up in Austin. So the Austin one opened up the week before this, and it's right next to University of Texas, Austin. And the Austin students have been going in and kind of spoofing on them or goofing on them in that process, which I think that's super cool that they're doing that.
I don't think you'd be able to do it in this one because I think some people already tried.
Yeah.
And some people already faced these windows, and they did not get very happy about that.
No. They're litigious. Well, I'll say they'll threaten lawsuits like crazy. They typically won't go through with the lawsuit because they don't want to withstand depositions.
I don't really want to be in the limelight.
But to that safe pointing element, when we were here, the commander, the Chief Harris, who's this area's just the highest officer. He was here as well, and he was letting them break all of the terms of the permit that they have. Their permit said this was a public event, so the street would have been open to the public. And obviously it wasn't open to the public, right? There'd be a 10-foot egress on either side for the sidewalks. There wasn't that egress.
They had those big hedge things that had like the centerpiece in there so you couldn't see through them. They pushed them up there.
Yeah.
To kids that were just watching, just so they could block them. And I thought also too, it was like really weird how they're trying to not let anybody in and not let anybody see this thing, but you present yourself as a religion,
right?
Which is supposed to be open to everybody.
If you look at the sign inside there, everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
Well, except for you.
Yeah.
All of you, you're not welcome.
If we don't like you, then you can't be part of a religion that wants everybody.
Right. So I have no evidence of, but I have high confidence. Chief Harris made a lot of money that day, and the church has tendency to do that. If you watch the LA protests, you can see that the church will send out people to instigate problems. And as they instigate these problems, they'll start the fight. Once the non-Scientologist engages, they'll call the police. The protester gets arrested. The person who started the fight, I don't know, I didn't see anything. I don't know what to talk about. And we have video from 12 angles in most of these situations. They put DOA in jail. They arrested him on a Friday on holiday weekend, President's Day. So they knew that he'd have to sit in jail all weekend long. Monday was a holiday. They charged him with a felony. So on Tuesday was misdemeanors in court. On Wednesday was felonies in court. Just as they go to the courthouse on Wednesday, oh, we're going to drop the charges. So in reality, they put him in jail for 5 days. I mean, it's this is DOA, which is a guy, Defender of Ants, is his channel. He was.
Is that other dude that's sitting out here too? Or?
No, so Danny was out here. But they're from LA. But those guys are from LA, and Danny came in with his fiancee Leah that weekend. And then there's a guy, Streets LA, who he's the one that started the LA element, and it was that was just Scientology causes their own problem more often than not. So he's a police officer, a cop watcher, and he makes sure cops don't get out of line in LA. And he was in front of the Scientology building, but he was ranting against the cops. And the Scientologists came out and said, "Hey, get off my property! You shouldn't be here!" And all that, kind of started into him. He said, "I have nothing against you. I'm here for the cops." Well, then they started doing things. Streets. He lost his son, and his son was shot. And they said, "Oh, you're a terrible parent. You let your son get shot," and all that. So now Streets has kind of dedicated his life to saying, "I'm shutting down this church." Right? And it's that their own bad acts are what brought it upon themselves. So
Put themselves in a position they didn't have to be in.
Yeah.
Scared. That's great.
Cool.
Oh man, it was
Great
nice
talking to you.
man.
Thank you so much for chatting. I appreciate the time.
Hey, thank you for everything.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
See you this year.
Thank you. Okay, I'm guessing I missed 1,000 messages, and you guys corrected everything I said wrong. Yeah, but nothing. Yeah, we're all good.
Just letting y'all know.
Yeah, thank you so much. Up, lapdogs have been called. Can I have your name and badge number? Excuse me, can I have your name and badge number?
Yeah, can I finish with them first and then I come talk to you?
Yep.
What did he say? What did he say?
He wants to talk to them first. So he wants to get their side of the story. Yeah.
What's the story?
They're going to trump up that you guys were too close to the window, you were trespassing. They're going to show them videos. They're going to say, hey, these people are harassing us.
No, I think it's because you were.
I walked up to the sign.
But you've never been trespassed.
No, I didn't.
And that's another one. When he comes out, there is no trespassing sign, and nobody has asked you to leave.
No one.
So
The guy came out afterwards, and we respected him in the back.
Yep.
I said go back in and do
Yeah, that's true. We didn't get told to him. We did tell him to.
Well, shame on you. Shame, you're old enough to know better. Well, shame on you.
thank you, Lori. Yeah, 100%. A lot of payment. Yeah, I'm going to have to study up more.
Oh, that's just my eczema. It's just like that. No, it's all good. I'm just waiting for my cold. Oh, no, you're fine.
So, do you know who this is? Yeah, Scientology.
This is Isreal. This It's a small.
That's just Shannon,
I go in here. Right. She got.
Yeah, for the uniform people, I think that's correct, Lori. And
White's terrible. These people.
I generally do, and I'm probably optimistic in thinking that I slow the camera down enough or stay steady enough on somebody. But I do try to make sure that I'm watching for that. So yesterday she was the one that liked to love bomb me. You know you can't trust me.
One more thing, right? My name is Officer Karma. My partner, my start number gonna be 18282. We got a call here for a reason. Like I said, freedom of speech. You're allowed to protest. You're allowed to do everything.
Yes.
One thing that once you cross the line, go into their property, that becomes something different.
Correct.
We call that trespassing.
Right.
Wait, trespassing requires a sign or them to ask us to leave. There is no sign. They have never asked us to leave.
Where did
He said he did.
When-
You want the cameras? Let me show you the
I don't know,
cameras.
that's what I said, look,
You, ma'am, you, sir, you were the rear entrance.
Nobody said I
I
had to
put you in
leave.
the alley.
You were actually inside.
I was
camera.
not. I was not.
They have it on the security camera. They have a security camera.
I
Alright.
did not
Okay.
step
For
foot.
I understand.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
They have a camera.
Yep.
Right,
She did not. I know what you're talking about.
That's
I
fine.
took a step up to read the
But
sign.
this is
That's
just
correct. I
okay.
did.
They have a sign like this.
She actually is the one. She was appropriate, and she said, "You know what? That's part of their property." And I walked off. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's why
Right.
I
So that's what I'm saying. Right. Only thing is
But why do they need to? I'm just curious right now. Okay?
Why do
As someone who's
they
involved in the
need
community, why do they need to? I'm a man, right? I'm just a civilian walking down, right?
Okay.
And I'm in the alley, right? I went to school here for a
Okay.
good portion of my
We
life.
live in
I live in
Chicago.
Chicago.
Hey,
We're walking through the alley, and I see a sign. It doesn't say no trespassing. It doesn't say anything.
Okay.
I literally
So-
walked up to read the sign.
Can I finish it now?
Yeah.
All right. So we get a call. That's their property. They got camera. They saw what happened. You say you didn't get a warning. This is us give you a warning. We talk to them. They just want you got to stay away from their property.
Okay.
Okay, because they allow, even they don't put a sign, but they advise you,
I accept
don't
that.
go to my place, don't go to my thing. That's fine.
I'll respect that.
Sidewalk, you do whatever you want to
I
do. It's the
respect
city
that.
property, it's not the
I
property.
respect
I agree with that.
Same thing to
My question wasn't whether or not they're right or wrong. I get it. My question is, why do they need the cops for this?
They need to call. The reason they're calling is what?
But why didn't they come and say, why don't you just say, please don't come on our property?
Hey, that's the reason why they want to read it. That's the reason why sometimes some people call 911 having a police officer to be the middleman and advise both parties. So we talk to them, we got the information based on what they told me, then we tell you they don't want this.
I'm just,
Thank you for your service. I appreciate your service.
I want you to know, I'm just being really honest with you. I grew up in a community where there's synagogues, mosques, all different religions, and I just never experienced that. Like if somebody came up and just wanted to see what the building is, it's not like something that. So, all right, I'll respect it. And if it's their property, I'll respect it. But I just feel like it's not the cops. There's so many other things. Like what?
There's so many things, but that's what I'm saying. The call they call has been a while, and like I said, everything that we get in, people still gonna respond. Just like that's whatever needs to be done, we're just gonna do it. That's what I'm saying. They just don't want you guys not to stay in that place. As long as you stay there, you do your thing.
Take an order from you.
That's it.
You're not sorry. So when I'm done with my anything. When I'm done with my
Look, we're not gonna go through there. You pay for a salary thing. Don't worry.
They're
I'm working.
terrorizing us. I live here and they're
I'm
terrorizing
working.
me.
I'm paying my salary too. I get taxes deducted on my paycheck.
And you
It's
don't
not
live
that I
next
get
to
free taxes.
Scientologists. I have to
So-
live next to this
every day and they terrorize us, and you do nothing about it but harass people, the only people who are here to try and actually keep me safe.
You're not harassing anyone.
These are the only people who have done anything
This
to
is not
try and keep me
harassment.
safe this whole time. This woman is the only person who has tried to do anything to keep me safe from these people.
Look, you have
And
your
you've done
you
nothing.
got your freedom to protest.
I don't have my freedom when they're blocking off the streets.
Who blocked the street?
The Scientologists, not during their permit time.
Right.
How?
We have
Opening weekend, opening weekend, opening weekend.
I don't know anything about that. See,
It's not funny. You don't laugh.
I'm not saying it's funny because look, if they block the street, they don't have permit, then that's the city.
Yeah, that's something you would have to call the city would have to.
But no,
But officer, let me ask you an honest question, and obviously it's your choice to respond.
Thanks,
or not.
Lorraine.
Do you ever have calls? Think about the whole situation, what's going on. You see the people that are standing there, right? I assume that you realize that we don't look like we're some kind of a group that's going to be doing kind of damage. Do you ever get calls to any other facilities?
When you get a call to, that's what I'm saying.
Not facilities like this.
Oh,
Church.
but he said not facilities like that.
I honestly don't know what they do.
Oh, see, okay, that's good. I respect that.
I can't say. I didn't even know this thing was here.
They hide crimes. They really hide crimes. That's the worst thing they do.
Okay. This is
So you heard it, what
Yep.
he said. He
Yep.
said not like.
Correct.
Yeah, he gets calls, but not like this one. I know you.
Yeah, I don't want them in my house, but they keep coming to it.
Guys, the sound just went away for a second. Do I have the sound back?
They come to your house.
They are coming to my house. This is my house. This is where I live.
You live here, you go to school here, but look,
And this is
their
what the
building.
Scientologists is.
That's their
Next
building.
door. They're on the sidewalk. They're terrorizing us. They're harassing us. They're laughing at us. They're screaming at us on the street. They're giving us tickets to their weird fucking shows in there. They're trying to get us to come in.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If somebody hands you a flyer, you can say no and walk away.
Right.
They follow you. They're
Sure.
terrorizing.
Sure, just stop following me and then
We
keep walking.
say that. They keep following us. They stop you.
I'm
Once
sure
they
you-
have their
I'm sure you
they
know
stop
them.
you.
Can I ask you something? If they do follow us, I can call you, right?
Oh, yeah, if they follow you, feel threatened, you feel like your life is in danger,
Yeah.
you call us. If you need to be escorted somewhere, we don't mind. We will escort you. Or if you need to talk to them, say, look, this person feels threatened by you.
Okay.
Can you just create distance? They will do it. I'm sure they're not going to be, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's kind of, you got to look at, people want to sell things, right? And some people, maybe, they have their way of selling. If you feel,
They're selling human trafficking.
I don't know about that.
You do.
Do you,
I don't.
either one of you guys have a card, or
No, we don't have a car.
you just go by?
Yeah, we just go by the badge and then the uniform.
What's your star number? And yours? First district, right?
But this
First district.
Okay, but you just don't want us to trespass.
that's pretty much basically stay away from their property line.
We do know where it is.
Right. Then
I mean,
you
we know
find
he has never been here before.
No.
So he did not know.
okay.
Yeah.
So now he knows.
So on the
that
curtilage, when you knock on the door, you're allowed to knock on the door, right? And then back off.
you're allowed to knock. That's what I'm saying. If you're not, and
That's
then
what allows you to come to my house.
They,
Right?
you knock, they open the door. They say, "Look, we don't want you
Correct.
guys here." They have a right to.
And by the way,
that.
that part of the conversation never took place. The knock on the door took place. Nobody ever spoke to us.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have to. That's what I'm saying.
I have the right. So a door is an invitation onto your curtilage,
So
correct?
that's what I'm saying. A door
And-
it is. Right. But it's like you. If I come to your house and knock,
And I can tell you to go away.
Yeah, you can.
And at that point, you have to go away.
Or either you put your knees, knocking, open the door.
Yep.
Then you get the message that probably that person doesn't want to talk to you.
I agree. Yes, and that's true. And that you're right. You should be there as long as it takes to understand that you're not welcome.
Knock, that, No one said not. No one said maybe third time. Okay, I guess they don't want to talk to me. Then a reasonable person, then you just.
Well,
want
what I think is really important. Okay, I just want to point this out right now is her experience as a student here, right?
Yeah.
The amount of money and effort that goes into her schooling, and it's being disrupted by.
If she feels that way,
She said she feels that way.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you feel that way, have you talked to your, the dean? That's what I'm saying. You got to talk to the dean. And if it doesn't work, then you want
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. One of the things I don't want to have happen is for people to start calling for stalking. I don't want us to get in the habit of calling stalking on them, because that'll put them in the habit of calling stalking on us.
Hey, man, in order for it that you could put that, in order for you to put something in say church,
It's been.
right? In order for you to put something on the building say church, you got to go file
I just
paperwork.
wrote a piece of paper right now, take one to Columbia, that says Church of Columbia,
But
Chicago, and call
then
it
I-
constantly. And I don't know how you do about that, but yeah,
Those are
they
the
fucking
trust
stuff, right?
Then I ask for your tax ID. You got to match with the tax ID. Pretty much if it's the church, corporation, whatever. Well, you student, you know that.
Yeah, that's a good one. And again, we have the complaint in against Captain Harris.
I'm just telling you what it is. Okay?
No. So the captain of these two.
Let's go in there. We just gonna.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. So wait, so I know the first district.
So, and the Captain Harris is their captain. So Captain Harris is their captain.
I'm aware of that.
Oh, okay.
So I am aware.
I'm from Montana.
I mean, they seem at least a little bit chill about it.
Yeah.
So I I don't really notice it.
They were right. I'll say this: that it's stupid and foolish to call trespassing. It's stupid and foolish.
That's why I didn't argue with that part.
Right.
I looked up the sign. I didn't think about it. There was like a sign. We were trying to read. I walked up and I read the sign. So I get it. You don't want me there. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But my issue is that they're calling the cops for something like that.
Correct.
If I had somebody walking up to my house, if I promoted something in my house, like let's say I had some lights or some or I don't know, something really whatever, and someone comes up and looks, it's like you expect that. It's an expectation that people are going to walk up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you need, like you said, I think the most important thing is, like you said, they need to have a sign.
Correct.
That's the difference.
Yep.
If I was back there and it said no trespassing, okay.
It takes one of two things. It has to be posted no trespassing, which is the sign, or they have to ask you not to come.
They have to express it.
Yeah. And I wasn't back there, but we should have on film that nobody came and asked you to leave.
No, she hasn't. No.
Yeah. And if nobody came and asked you to leave, you didn't trespass.
Oh, right. You're saying, right. Yeah, from a logical perspective, yeah.
So they're afraid to
anyway.
talk to us. They're really afraid to talk to us. And that's the one thing I love about it. It's like, you really can't trespass me because you won't tell me I can't be there.
I'm telling you, the one thing that it boggles my mind. It's like you ask them what their belief system is, like what their, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just crazy. It's just these bananas.
I love all of you guys. Always trying. No, absolutely. We're trying. That's the only important thing.
Careful, they don't like people on their property.
Getting like the word out
But also her experience is
Yeah.
students.
That's
there.
and they're true feelings, right? I mean they don't feel safe in their own neighborhood, and
That's why I came out. That's my issue is the feeling that people get around Scientology is that you feel like you lack. It puts you on edge.
right.
Yeah, like, don't go to Chicago. My mom is very much Chicago. She needs to relax.
I can't believe they can afford these buildings.
They're sitting on $4 billion.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying
donations.
I've heard about.
Well, and
I
also
can't believe
when they bought, so just like the universities here, and I've kind of told my audiences several times, this was bought during the crisis, this 2007-2008 crisis.
Really?
Right, when the property. So,
That's when I
right,
lost all my money. Good.
they're all the colleges are sitting on endowments, so they have cash up the wazoo. That's why they bought all the buildings on State Street. That's when this was bought. And Scientology can buy for cash, right?
Right. And no taxes.
And that again, no property tax, right?
No property
So
tax, right.
now that
They have no bill through that.
they've renovated. One of the so as these orgs kind of mature and the staff pulls back and they're not able to recruit, they can't afford their electric bill and their water bill, right? So that's
You're right. As long as we shut that, as long as.
So we need to stop the, as they claim, new meat from coming in.
It's just.
Once I think he might have flyers with him,
right,
so I'm going to go follow him. We can help you get out anytime you want. Yeah, so Dark Suit at the bottom has flyers, and he's going to start passing out, so I want to go get that. I don't know if he went into the apartment or if he went into... Oh, he might be going to get a juice, but he does have flyers in his hand, and I don't want those being handed out. Hey, I appreciate everybody sticking by. There was a lot of chaos with the, or a lot of noise, and probably hard to hear all the conversations. I think the police were on the right side there. I think it's foolish for the church to call people out. I think it's a waste of resources. They didn't violate our rights by any means. They came out, they rather calmly. We were a bit antagonistic back towards them very quickly. I wish we would have a little more stable first reaction. Yeah, it's tough to go in there. It's embarrassing, right? So I'm pretty sure I saw the white top in here last night. And I think that she not really happy going into the building with the camera on her. Oh, and the younger guy with the dark suit, when I looked into the store, it was his phone, not flyers in his hand.
It's like unfound. Yeah.
Here we've got some more people coming down the street. Call your family. We can get you out anytime you want.
listen though. You follow all your.
I try to, and I have
awesome.
yeah.
It's awesome that you do that. You try to actually communicate.
The channel's small enough that I recognize so many of the names that are in here on that, and I appreciate that they appreciate I'm out here trying to just stand up for somebody. So, and that's one of those that I don't know that we have. Shannon says there's some ex-Scientologists that she's aware of here. I don't think there's any ex-Scientologists that are protesting, and I'm not a Scientologist.
Right.
I've heard the stories, and I don't tolerate it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not something that
you don't have to have been through the trauma to understand the trauma.
I'm not a Palestinian, and I'm not Iranian or Israeli. I don't like what's going on.
Yeah. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. But in general, the world, the complications of the world are so different. This is like childish. I mean, you think of like how it was created, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no roots to like. It's like, I mean, it's the newest religion on the block, if you want to call it a religion, but it doesn't have its roots in anything. I love when Streets of LA says, you know, when the Galactic
1953.
We dropped the popsicle people. He calls them popsicle.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Do you know? And I'm going to look up the ordinance.
Yes.
Is sidewalk chalk allowed in Chicago?
It definitely on. I know for a fact I can tell you West Rogers Park because that the whole entire summer. Not only that, no, for sure it is because, like for a fact, they actually have a get together in East Lakeview, which is like 3 blocks away from Wrigley, and it's because it's a lot more families live there than ever before. So they built this park, and there's like a 3-block radius. There's like a huge, really nice, beautiful building. It's a church, and then there's a bunch. And the kids for like they have a thing on Saturday where they actually come out and they actually design and color, and so I know it is over there. I don't know if it's different in the like what we would call the business district. I don't know.
So I know that I road race a lot, and if you paint something on there, you have to clean it up. But I feel like chalk is something that disperses on its own.
I know for a fact you could leave in East Rogers, West Rogers, and even in East Lakeview. Definitely can just leave it.
Okay. One of the things I don't know if so Pearl Snappy is the one that kind of is the
Texas.
Yeah,
okay.
Austin, and today or yesterday, she put on the door there, cult entrance here. She chalked on the bottom, cult entrance here.
I saw one night, Streets was filming, or it might have been Jessica, and they had like the whole sidewalk.
Yeah.
Someone else got arrested recently too, right?
Danny got arrested. Danny got arrested for the
Danny
scooter.
In Chicago before?
Danny was
the guy that was traveling around.
Yeah, so he came here and
so
he was
cool.
down there yelling, and I don't know right now if it was Captain Harris or somebody else said you can't yell. Like hell, I can't yell. I can yell, and you're too loud. I go, well, the ordinance says as long as it's not.
He said about like when you were doing the.
The ordinance says that if it's not amplified, you can be as loud as you want to.
Right.
So it was funny. No. So Danny was down at that end of the street, and Leah was up in that apartment building right there.
Who's Leah?
Leah is their fiancés.
Oh, nice, cool. So they've been traveling together. That's beautiful.
You could, when Danny would yell, you could hear it on Leah's mic, and when Leah would yell, you could hear it on Danny's mic. And David's right here. Miscavige is right here. It's like, well, that's going through the crowd. Yeah, he was right here. That they had. Well, the street was blocked off, and there was a stage basically right here.
What did he look like?
He's short little fella.
But what did he like? Elderly or? Like,
I don't think because I think that he's got a makeup team, so you probably wouldn't be able to see him from any kind of distance. And also, there was an awning on top of him, so you could see his legs. You couldn't see him. What would have been excellent, right, if we were in any of the buildings over here.
So really quick, where was it blocked off? You know, I'm explaining.
So
this is what I was
the street was the street was blocked off
this whole street.
at that corner. Yes, from Harrison.
And so everybody had
all the way to Polk.
Direct traffic.
Correct.
Which is understandable for certain times of year, whatever it is. But that's what was going on. So this entire block shut down.
Yep.
Alley too? Shut down?
No, the alley was open.
Oh, okay.
The sidewalks were supposed to have 10 feet of emergency evacuation. Now they put so many barriers in there; it was a maze. And if had there been a problem, they would not have been able to evacuate everybody. The stage was right about here, and it was short. It didn't. I don't think it went to the midline. And then there was maybe 300 chairs that were then facing this direction.
They said like a couple thousand.
Yeah, they were wrong. We have great pictures. So because Leah was in that apartment building, she has a great aerial view of what was going on there.
Oh, really?
And you could easily count it. You could count it. Yeah, well, we could count it, and it was
like she could literally say, okay, 10 over there, 10 over there, 10 over there.
Yep. Then they had plenty of vehicles. Oh, sorry. Oh. We can help you out anytime you want. Let us know. Are you still mocking your reactive mind?
Come with the paperwork that I have for the non-for-profit I run. It's not about religion. It's about like people that don't feel. It's literally for people like this, people that suffer from trauma or substance abuse, or they feel isolated from whatever community they're from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the program. And literally, like I said, I know somebody that for 5 years was part of Scientology, and literally I can't even believe how this individual there's a difference between like somebody having huge changes in life and almost a personality swap.
Right.
That's what it was like. It was almost like so brainwashed. So brainwashed. It was crazy.
Good day at the cult?
And they don't think of it like that. Do you believe that the people in this cult think it's good?
Well,
like,
I do think
that they're there.
Yeah, I do. So there are true believers in here.
But your average person that's making $50 a week or whatever it is, you think those are true believers, or you think those are?
Because
Leah Remney made it sound like there's a tremendous amount of people that are actually super unhappy as part of the sewer. But it could be she was talking about specifically.
Oh, and I by the way, I do think that's a true statement. That
I'm just wondering.
They've got a renewed sense of energy because of the grand opening, and they released another level, not level. Every once in a while, David Miscavige resets everybody. So you go up to OT8, which is the top that exists, and when he says, "I need more money," he says, "None of you did it right. I'm abolishing all of your OTs. You got to do it all over again. Oh, and you got to spend the money again." And they do it.
And they do it.
It's like, what?
That's crazy.
So why can't that be a church? If they're paying
that's crazy.
Go there, they can just put a church up.
That's insane.
So
here they literally have. They really don't hold back. It says Church of Scientology.
Correct.
And is that all new? Oh yeah, you could see they put the brick on top of the.
Well,
is that even brick? Or is
the new parts are the two white circles here,
right,
and this sign.
And the two white circles there.
And
my question is this: where it says Scientology,
yeah,
is it new brick? Or is it just slapped on top?
It's slapped on top of it. Yeah. And this is a landmark building. So if you look inside of here, there's a plaque on either side of this entrance.
That's why in the alley, that's what I was looking at. There's plaques about the building, and that one happened to have said about Scientology, but I wasn't like looking. I wasn't even looking in their door. I walked up just to read the sign.
Yeah.
And again, my issue is not that. It's okay. You don't want them to be fine. My issue is the cops are showing up for this.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, this is insanity.
And Streets has blood flowing through his nose.
Right. Exactly.
You won't take a report?
Oh my God. I can't believe that he.
Thank you, Lorraine, so much. Oh. Lorraine, can you send me an email? I communicate with Ellie through email too. I won't get to it till this evening, but please do. So she's a mod on the channel.
Yeah.
They keep the audience entertained while I'm distracted by the conversation.
Engaged, right, engaged with, that's why I think streaming for me would get like crazy, like all my friends with it. You know what I mean? It would make me. But I guess it's important. I mean, maybe I should be. I'll figure it out. I'll start doing it.
But even
I
so,
just wanted to be here. Is this is like uniform?
one of the things that I think is important is if you see, like he's not making much money. The college
50
kid came
bucks?
over. He might make. It's strange. If you listen to the Blown for Good channel, that the staff members sometimes they can make even less money than the Sea Org members do.
Really?
They usually have a second job.
I knew they were going to call the cops about that. I knew it.
You did say it. You called it in the alley.
Yeah.
The guy that was out here the day that Natalie was here was the same thing. It's like, oh, don't step up there.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Whether
So
we
what is it, just a
whether we
line on the
trespass or
sidewalk?
not, they're going to call the police.
So where the caulk line is, so that shelf is theirs. Good day at the cult?
Hey, how's the call going?
Do you think they practice that?
They have to, yeah. That they go through something called bull baiting, which people get in their face to try to get them to emote, and you fail until you stop emoting.
People found me on Facebook already. Just one day I have a bunch of Facebook requests.
Nice.
That's like my.
They
That's
said
like my
it
only
on
thing.
mine too. They're like,
Yes.
who's on Facebook?
Yeah. By all means, anybody wants to become friends with me on Facebook, I'm totally down.
Cult boy.
I don't really do. I think that my.
Shame on you,
the one
cult boy.
My son's like, I won't
Your
go and mess
suit
with my
doesn't
phone.
fit.
I never. If I have an Instagram account, I don't look at it.
Yeah.
And YouTube, it's just like if you Google my name, it'll either be interviews from every July 19th, or it'll be music. So I don't really have. I'm not big in like. I don't have Twitter or whatever. What's it called now? X.
X, yeah.
I don't have any of that.
Twitter 2.0.
Twitter's going on. See, like where she is, that's not.
She's not there. So if she touches the brick in front of her left toe, she's illegal. But if she touches the brick in front of her right toe, she's fine, because that's the college. The college came out the other day and said, I can't film in there. And it's like, I can film in there all I want to. Is you can't trespass my eyes. Right? I can't go into it and film,
that's
but
fine, but you can do whatever you want.
I can film from out here.
Yeah, organizations in general like to use that power.
Well, it's
She
if you
gotta
keep on saying
smile.
it,
She got a smile. Yeah, sorry. You said she got a really big smile. Did you see the smile you got? But it is crazy, like you're saying. It's like, them making less money. Oh my gosh, that means like an elderly gentleman.
if you ever need to get out and want to start over, we can help. Just ask any one of us anytime. So I'm going to make a hasty generalization. That man is not healthy.
No, I heard that comes in. You could just see his body is
Worn
Did
out.
he respond to you? Did you ask him?
No, I just let him know that anytime he wants out, we'll more than happy to help him. Just come and approach any one of us. So
It is good for him to know that. That's what I was saying. It's like offering
I do want to get a poster board mock-up of the billboard that Aftermath just put out in LA. So
That's a good idea,
they
yeah.
put that out there, and I just want to wear it around my neck, and And again,
Like
sometimes I want to
you're
rant, and
more than
sometimes I
welcome.
want to.
If they Google my name, they'll see my organization will pop right up. And literally, what we do is we just connect you with therapists. We just try to get you to live a healthy, meaningful life. It's not like it's exactly for that. It's exactly just to help people function in the world. People that feel like they're not functioning in a certain way. It's assisting them in for real, assisting them in life, not like assisting them like you have to do this. No.
All right.
Scientology is a cult.
What? Do you have a time?
Nasty, dirty cult.
It's about 15 minutes past, so that means it's about 6:30.
Okay.
Scientology is a cult. It's a filthy
I'm waiting for
little
one of our
people
other,
with filthy
another one of our
people that
cohort
take
usually
advantage
shows
of
up,
other
Oh, yeah.
people.
and he's
What's
usually
the
here
matter,
around this
Nick?
time.
This guy
So
just doesn't have a big enough house. Is that it, Osa? What else do you guys need? What do you need that you don't have?
They really watch the
Gold
channels.
toilet
oh yeah,
seat?
and you can tell in LA the police do. Here, I'm going to say that I'm not positive. Good day at the cult.
Shame on you.
Harboring the child
Shame on you,
traffickers,
cult. Shame
protecting the
on you.
rapists. Good job. Way to go. That's a church.
Keep protecting rapists.
Yeah, that broke my, when I realized that restaurant, that broke my heart. Like, I have some people that are very close.
Okay, so being a nicer,
Very
gentler
summer.
Shannon lasted about, how long did it last? A couple hours at least.
You ate nicer, General Shannon.
I try. I'm trying. But
It's impossible.
I can't.
I do like the theater and the popcorn and the. Oh, please don't go in there. You know it's a cult.
Don't go in there with that child.
Child
you
traffickers.
sicko. You're sick.
Oh my gosh, that was like a real family.
Yeah.
Yeah. we see
They're going to
it
go
all
on
the
course.
time,
They're probably
dude,
going to go on
all the
course.
time. Kids going into Scientology.
One of the members just mentioned. So Mark Brown is a guy who's an ex-Scientologist, then went into the military. His wife was being exploited. His mother was being exploited by the church financially, and they just recently were able to get her out of the
That's
church.
awesome.
So
That's awesome.
Rosemary Brown Chitwick was her name.
That's awesome. It's never too late.
Oh, Scientology, way to go to the cult. Supporting the child traffickers, supporting the rapists. That was a very casual person. Did I not say Mike Brown?
Shorts and
Yeah. And he did have flip flops on too. It's like, okay.
yeah, he looked like he was coming from where's their base? Clearwater? Is that the
Clearwater, yeah.
Looks like he came straight from Clearwater to Chicago. So crazy. And just to think about it in my own brain, just thinking about Clark as a street, like in Chicago, it's like such an awesome street. Like, they had to come here. It's like
the throughway on this, like this street
goes all the way to where I grew up.
It's
Literally
never
goes
empty.
The kosher butcher is literally on Clark and Devon, Clark and Toon.
Was
Romanian.
What's
That's the most famous, one of the most famous butchers in the world, actually. People from New York, even Jews, like they'll buy meat from the store, and like wealthy people from the city that are not Jewish, they'll go there. It's a very famous butcher.
Is there a Hasidic cluster like at Foster? And
did you ever see like with the black hats and the curly? That was me.
Nice.
I went to that school on Foster. See, but I'll tell you something. You want to know something interesting? You know, like they're next to like university, and it's like crazy. Northeastern was 20 feet away from us. Never a bad experience. Not one time. We used to run onto their property all the time to play sports. They loved it. We were just high school kids. We didn't really have a field. We weren't really supposed to be messing around. But, you know, that was our little revival. They laughed. They never bothered us. And there was a throughway, which was 100% private property. I was thinking about this when you guys were opening up. Not once.
Did you hate it when that happened?
Battery down.
Not once. Not one bad experience. I don't remember ever Northeastern saying anything about us and us saying anything about Northeastern. Neither one of it was like. So again, I'm just pointing out that even if you have a belief system that does fall within the context of religion, this is not that.
Correct. 100%.
This is a weird New Agey philosophy from the 1940s that was maybe cutting edge at the time. You know, it was. I mean, at the time, Dale Carnegie wrote, you know, How to Win Friends and
Influence People.
Friends and Influence People. Those kinds of ideas were new. You know, it was a novel approach. The tone scale, you know, the idea that you have a choice in the matter, that you can cause good things or bad things in your life.
Manifest.
But now that's all part of the common lexicon. It's not useful anymore. It's like, time for
No,
it to
but also I think
shrivel
it's
and
Joe
die.
Rogan that says that not only was he a science fiction writer, he was a bad science
Correct.
He
fiction writer.
was so
He was a
bad.
terrible. He was a
So
volume. Penny
bad.
of
About
words. We
20
just
years
wrote
ago,
up.
I picked up a book, not even Dianetics. I just wanted to see because like I got really curious, and it was just
awful. Yeah, it's awful.
it was like brutal, just trying to get through. Like it was like brutal.
It's torture. Have you ever read any of his, for lack of a better word, his edicts, his bulletins?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's
If
the
I did,
same.
it would be years
It's
ago.
exactly the same as his. If
Really?
you look on my community tab, I've got some of them on there.
Oh, I'm gonna.
But I mean, not just my channel. I mean, they're all over the internet now.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But it's
the whole Zeta thing is all over the internet too.
I know.
Correct.
Are these people? Do they really not get onto?
You know
the
what? The
internet?
woman I was talking to said they really don't.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they have to go get some check. They have to tell on themselves.
Yeah.
So when or their husband tells on them, or their mom, or somebody tells on them, or they tell on themselves, and then they have to do hours of auditing about it.
See, that's the thing. Again, like when you talk about religion in my community where I grew up, we weren't allowed on the internet. We weren't allowed, but there was
Is
no
that
like.
right?
Yeah, but that's
right.
just.
You couldn't watch TV.
But it was like you grew up. No, I didn't have a television, no
Yeah.
radio, no magazines, nothing.
Yeah.
But if something like that happened and we went on, it wasn't like the end of the world. You know what I'm trying to say? It wasn't like you had to.
Oh my
go through
God! Now you have to go to confession for 10 hours.
And that's the thing. There's zero in Judaism.
Do
There's no
500
confession.
Hail Marys.
It's just like maybe the rabbi mentioned something too, like, "Oh, you were looking at ladies. You shouldn't be looking at ladies."
They have boobs.
There was
That's bad.
a store across the street by Northeastern, exactly on Foster, and there's a lot of like porn magazines there. And they had that in the '90s. They had them out.
Yeah.
And like that's like the one thing that somebody was always like watching. But still, it was like a smiling, you got like a smile from the rabbi, knows that you're just like being normal.
Yeah.
Just a normal human being.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, you just lost it. You have to retake 10th grade.
Hold on.
You just threw 10th grade away.
All right, Shannon. Do you think is Trashy coming?
Wait, somebody should call him.
Do you want
I don't have contact info.
I'll call him.
All right.
You can use my phone if you want. I'm not.
She'll have to because I don't have his contact info.
Who's that? That's just another.
He's another one of us, younger
Cool.
guy. He's a less confrontational, conversationalist. I loved on the opening day, there was, I have to assume it was Miscavige's security guard, and he's got like Secret Service type security guards. And Trashy found him at the back door, and Trashy was just talking to him and said, "Hey, if you ever want to go to lunch, I'll go to lunch. We don't have to talk about Scientology. We don't have to talk about anything. I just want to talk. You want to talk? We'll talk." And I just like the way that he audits or process.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I continuously hear from people. It's Scientology's the problem, not a Scientologist.
Correct. Absolutely true.
Yeah, it's a great perspective on it.
Okay. Well, I only have 68 people left, so I'm going off. You guys, thanks a lot for tuning in as usual. I'm sorry I'm going home. So stay with Windy City Fate, and we'll see if Trashy's coming. Wendy will let you know.
Yeah, I'm probably not long for this anyhow either, so I'm going to start heading out.
Okay, so we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, you guys.
So the cult gets a free ride for a little while.
Ellie, thank you so much. This was not very fun. You're welcome, Zena. Thanks for being here. Ellie, thanks as usual.
It was great chatting with you. I appreciate it.
It was really nice to meet you guys. It's perfect for me because I'm right by the hour. And
Okay,
Yep.
I'll see you next time.
beautiful.
Hey, you guys.
Once I turn this off, I'll see.